Probably the perception of a lot of people is that you can only choose a house from a book from a building company like GJ Gardens. That's not the case.
We had a brief that we gave to GJs and told them what we wanted out of a house. They came back with a drawing that was perfect.
They were just so supportive of us and the special little knickknacks and things that we wanted to put in our home. It was everything that we had wanted.
Every day I come home, I walk up the stairs and I think, wow, I'm lucky.
To get the home you've always wanted, visit gjgardner.co.nz.
We're at the hot pools. Bucket list tick. This is so much fun. Christchurch, love you.
Just the beginning.
Kia ora koutou, no mai, haere mai, and welcome along to our second women's final. We are here, GJ Gardner Homes Beach Tour. You have myself, Tiana Placid, and with me I've got Dean Wilson.
Yeah, no, Tiana, an absolutely beautiful setting here, Cathedral Square, Christchurch. We are bringing beach volleyball to the heart of the city here in the second women's semi-final.
Exactly that. It's 21 degrees, just a slight wind, which I don't think will affect the game very much. But who do we have coming up in this women's semi?
Oh, we have got a classic battle. This is North Island versus South Island. This is the number 1 seeds versus the number 3 seeds. We will introduce them on court very shortly.
Indeed, it has been an exciting last couple of days. Friday we just had playoffs, and then Saturday one of our teams had to go into a quarterfinals to get to this position here.
Yeah, it's a double elimination system, but it is do or die in the semi-finals, and we are set to go. We'll soon introduce the referees and these teams taking part in the women's semi-finals.
Indeed, we're going to be with you here all of Sunday. We've got our women's finals happening at 2:15 and our men's final happening at 4 p.m. So thank you so much for tuning in. It is an exciting day here in Ōtautahi. So if you are all around New Zealand, it's good to have you with us.
And a wonderful crowd down. We're going to get set introduced. Firstly, the ball kids and the lines people. Give them a round of applause around the court here today. And our second referee, a legend of the sport, now resides in Christchurch, Mr. Warren Smith. Okay, and from Canada, now hailing from Dunedin, the first referee, Michael Kopp. First of our semi-finalists from the North Island in a backcourt today, originally from Gisborne, now hailing from Tauranga. Put your hands together for Julia Tilley. And in front court from the Waikato, Annalise Fitzi. Okay, now we're going to go south to the home team. First up in front court, let's hear it for Stacey Niao. And in the backcourt, a product of Burnside High School here in Christchurch. Let's hear it for Alice Zeiman.
It is honestly exciting times down here, Dean. Thank you so much for joining us. It is our second semi-final. Now with you, we're going to be having Ivy Schmidt and also Trent Webby taking you guys into commentary.
Can't wait for this big matchup, North versus South.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our second women's semi-final on this GJ Gardner Homes New Zealand Beach Tour here in Christchurch. We are starting this action live. My name's Ivy Schmidt, and with us is Trent Webby commentating today.
Yeah, g'day guys, and we're straight into the action with the first point, and a nice little rally. Here we go. There we go. First point goes to the Southerners, Stacey Niao and Alice Zeiman.
Yeah, so Alice Zeiman is I guess both of these girls are South Island locals, but Zeiman was actually over in the States for the last few years playing both beach volleyball and indoor volleyball, first at Minnesota, and then move into sunnier, warmer climates and FSU to play some beach volleyball for the Knolls.
Yeah, absolutely. She converted from an indoor scholarship in Minnesota to a beach volleyball scholarship at Florida State. So she's got a wealth of knowledge for both sports. We'll see a little bit out there today. First service ace of this game going to Tilley and Fitzi. A new combination. We've seen a lot of these beach ferns switch around partnerships, just as a chance to see and gather some good lead up to, some good information on the lead up to the Common Games, which is kicking off next year.
Yeah, so it sounds like New Zealand's doing quite the little proven test. I'm not quite sure how to describe it, but it sounds like all the girls are kind of mixing up the top levels just to find that best partnership to represent New Zealand, give us the strongest chance to maybe have a Olympic qualification run.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's not forget that there's obviously the Olympics coming up as well, and that's all in the lead up too. It's a bit of trial and error switching these teams around. In the mix, we've got Fitzi and Tilley, as well as Zeiman, who was actually supposed to be teaming up with Shauna Polly for this event.
Ah, and why isn't Shauna Polly here?
She's had an injury and had to pull out earlier this week, which is unfortunate. I'm sure she would like to be here, but it's always best to get the rest. And we'll see her at the 4th stop on this beach tour, New Zealand Beach Tour, thanks to Gardner Homes. It's going to be at Mount Maunganui, the home of beach volleyball.
Yeah, I think we're going back to back in the Mount, right?
Absolutely, yeah. 2 weekends in a row. We start off with a 4-star event, part of the New Zealand Beach Tour, and then what they're considering the Mao Cup. And originally going to be an international event where international teams can come and compete against the top 4 teams here in New Zealand. But because of what's happening around the world with this pandemic, it's just going to be another battle.
Saw the scoop and deliver, nice, easy, clean kill from her. And then she's going to convert another point with just a nice, easy ace service.
Yeah, passing area there by Fitzi. Annalise Fitzi is actually fresh to the beach volleyball arena. She is used to hard services at the indoor volleyball. She plays as a middle hitter for the Hamilton Huskies and is on her first season on the beach court. So she's got a lot to learn, but she's doing well so far to find herself here in the semi-final.
Yeah, and she's got an experienced partner to kind of guide her. Tilley, of course, has been quite the force. Normally, Tilley would be partnering up with Polly, but as we said earlier, just testing new partnerships. And Tilley and Polly kind of had the lockdown last year on the tour. So looking probably for Tilley to be the beach volleyball coach of the day for Fitzi.
This will be an interesting game, Ivy. I think these 2 teams are very similar. They've both got experienced players, Julia Tilley and Alice Zeiman, and they've both got players that I consider not bad players, great indoor players, but new to beach, that being Stacey Niao and Annalise Fitzi.
Yeah, it's actually, I love to see it, and I love always the background of the volleyball. So pre-Polly pulling out, Zeiman was going to be the 1 seed of this tournament with Polly, just based on points. Of course, with that late-minute injury, they had a last-minute reseeding of the bracket, so they tossed Tilley and Fitzi up to the top seed. And just now, this is kind of that moment of, all right, who deserves it? Who's gonna win this game? Kind of just to bragging rights, but also those rights of don't change my seeding, you know. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. Yeah,
there's a wild card given to Alice Zeiman and Stacey Niao, given that Stacey hasn't played much beach this season. She didn't have any points or the right ratings, but she's a great player nonetheless. Stacey Niao is actually an outside hitter of indoor volleyball for the Volley Ferns, the New Zealand women's indoor team. She originally coming from Kawerau, which I'm sure you don't know where that is, Ivy.
I have no clue.
It's out from Rotorua. It's a small little town, and but with a big heart. And Stacey's been around indoor volleyball for a long time, so she knows all the basics.
Yeah.
What she doesn't know too much is all about these shots, and that's what's different about beach volleyball. It's not about always power, it's also about precision.
Yeah, and we saw it right there because that was a tough serve. And then we see Niao laying out on the line to make that first serve, to get that pass up. But honestly, with beach volleyball, you want to avoid laying out. So my uni coach would always recommend dropping to a knee. Just try, if you can, you just want to stay on your feet, because then all she could do is bump it over, and then she's still kind of in the sand, unable to get that next defensive play. Just like the tweaks from the indoor to the beach volleyball game, it's a little bit harder to pop back up.
Absolutely. Now it's going to be pretty tough. You probably hopefully you can hear it at home. We've got a bit of a big crowd building up here to support the Southern team. Both players, well, Alice Zeiman was born here in Christchurch, but now resides in Auckland, and Stacey, having moved from, or actually all around New Zealand, being born in Kawerau, or growing up in Kawerau, and moving down here. She plays for the Shirley Silverbacks, which is an indoor team down here. So she's got a lot of local friends and family down here too now. Made a name for herself down here. So they are definitely the hometown favourites here and have the home ground advantage in this competition.
And we're going to see her with a nice jump float, nice and easy to run up to that net and get her block in place. And there it is. There it is. That is that indoor play that sometimes just the beach volleyball players sometimes don't have that killer instinct of get in front of the ball and block it. But I feel like indoor players do that really, really well.
Absolutely. Another good float serve there. We expect to see a bit of power coming from both Annalise Fitzi and Stacey Niao because they have that indoor background. They're not used to playing overlying shots, doing pokies. We mentioned what that was before, is when you hit it with a knuckle rather than with an overhand tip, which you can't do. Cut shots, all that sort of stuff will be new to them. So we'll see a lot of power from both these players. There's a little shot there, though.
Unable to convert.
Yeah, and Stacey trying to go over on two there with the little pokey, the backwards knuckle. Unfortunately, it was too low going into the net. So we've got a neck and neck ball game here. One more point away from our technical timeout. It is 10-all here in the first set. New Zealand Beach Tour, thanks to the GJ Gardner Homes. Down here in the Super City, Christchurch, beautiful venue, right in the CBD.
Great one arm up, just not able to get a second touch on that one. And that will take us to our 2L technical timeout. Beach gear for any weather, and we might not be at a beach, but honestly, it's close enough. We've got the sun, we've got the sand, we've got a lot of happy people, got us some proper crisps, some sunscreen. What else do we have going on down here?
Life's good, life's good. Yeah, we've got a lot of little giveaways here, thanks to many of our sponsors. We can't list them all, we'll go throughout this whole timeout, but the big one we want to say thank you to is Christchurch City Council. They're putting this all on for us. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here in the CBD and we wouldn't be getting all this exposure. So a big thank you to Christchurch City Council. A big thank you also to our naming rights partner, GJ Gardner Homes. They're a big part of making this tour happen. And another big shout out to 2L for this technical timeout. We mentioned earlier in the earlier women's semi-final, it was played before with the winners, Francesca Kerwin and Olivia McDonald. 2L provides some pretty cool towels. If you don't know what we're talking about, check them out online. They have these cool little hooded towels, very comfy and very swaggy to wear at the beach.
And we are going to resume play. Zeiman is back to serve.
It's getting a little bit hot out here at the moment. The temperature is about 21 degrees, but I'm sure we're going to see those high 20 degrees we've seen the last couple of days. 28 degrees in the peak of the heat yesterday. Gosh, it was hot out there. And we can actually see on the court there's a bit of a shade getting casted by one of the monuments here in the CBD. But that sun moves around, that sun causes many different shadows on the court. It plays a little bit of a tricky part to the sport.
Yeah, so we are pretty neck and neck right now. So both teams are just trying to put pressure on each other. You want to be consistently putting pressure. That was a pretty high risk play there. She's pretty far off the net, going for that line, but just missing it out by centimeters. It's beach volleyball. It's a close game.
It's a game of inches, isn't it?
It is.
You can be.
See, do you guys even know what an inch is?
It's 2.5 centimeters, is it not?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
I
close
don't
to that.
know what a centimeter is, you guys.
The crazy thing is that a mile, an inch in or an inch out is as good as a mile in or a mile out in beach volleyball. It just has to touch the sideline, and that's considered in. But the difference between that is as small as a hair. So we've seen a good amount of aggression from both teams. Still neck and neck here in this first set, and we're not seeing too much of a particular strategy between the two teams.
Yeah.
Zeiman and Niao are going after after Annalise Fitzi.
And right there, we see kind of the reason why a lot of girls won't handset too much. It is just really hard to get that clean handset out. And anytime there is a double contact, one hand contacting the ball after the next, the double, you see the ball spin, it's just not coming out nicely, and that will be just an instant point to the other team.
Float serve there on Zeiman, passing error. So we're seeing now a 3-point lead here for Tilley and Fitzi. Definitely what they want to have in this early end of the first set. We've still got quite a few points though to see this game out. Remember, it is a race of 21, the first 2 sets. Another good serve there by Annalise Fitzi.
Yeah, and this will be our second women's semifinal of the game. So winner of this is going to meet the winner of the first semifinal game, Olivia McDonald and Francesca Kerwin, and our finals that will take place just after we have the men's semifinal matches. Because I know we all prefer the girls' games, but gotta let the boys have their moment as well.
We just prefer beach volleyball down here. Ivy, I think it's a win-win if there's beach volleyball being played.
It's a tease. It's a joke.
Great swing there by Alice Zeiman, and it's got me applauding. That was a great swing. Unfortunately, Julia Tilley wasn't in a good spot, but she was unable to get that ball back into the court. And a much needed side out for this team, Zeiman and Niao, who are running with a 3-point deficit. Tight set. Good touch. Recycled.
Great cover by Tilley. That is what you expect from a seasoned beach volleyball veteran.
Offset.
And another gorgeous dig. Just
rally.
making it look effortless. Making it look like this is patty cake here.
Behind set. And just long by Alice Zeiman.
I would say that was the best rally of the day. That's the beach volleyball we like to see. That aggression, those great digs, the control. That's kind of the game that I'm expecting moving forward here.
Absolutely, and both teams actually still seem to feel like they're in a little bit of control here. Score reflecting a 4-point lead for Tilley and Fitzi. Another serve on Zeiman there, but a good swing down line to side it out.
That's a great response from Zeiman. We've seen her going up hard, but just not quite able to convert into points, and that time effortless, making it look like there's not a block up. I think Fitzi was kind of reading her coming in for the angle and just maybe gave her a little too much line, and Zeiman's just gonna, like you said, give an inch, take a mile.
Absolutely. Great dig there by Zeiman. Overset. Another opportunity.
Yeah, that was a great dig by Zeiman. Great control on that dig, just not able to convert that set. And Tilley Fitzi was going to take a 4-point lead here late in this first game. Fitzi back to serve. She's been sticking to her jump float, just nice and easy to run up and go ahead and block afterwards. And of course, a service.
I love that at this point in the game. So Fitzi and Tilley looking like they've got a bit of control here in this first set of the second women's semi-final here at the GJ Gardner Homes New Zealand Beach Tour. We're down at Christchurch for the Super Slam. And if you're just joining us, we're at a massive plot of sand that's just chilling in the middle of the CBD.
And we have our first match point here after a brief discussion by the referees.
Yeah, just a bit of a question about where that net violation it came from. So no players are allowed to touch the net. However, when two players simultaneously touch the net, it is a bit questionable about who gets it. And I think Niao and Zeiman are a little bit shocked that they didn't get that point. I think they believe that Fitzi was the one to cause that net violation. But the refs say no. You got to listen to the refs when you're playing the sport.
And now we're going to have our first match point. Our first set point. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm getting ahead of myself.
6 set points here.
Yeah, so if I started playing volleyball when I was 9 years old, then I should probably know the difference between a set and a match. But yet here we are.
Absolutely. And we got to switch over of the ends with the 15 to 20. The team in control here is Tilley and Fitzi, and I think what the plan here is hopefully to gain momentum in the end of this first set to move into the second set for Niao and Zeiman. And a great cross hit there by Annalise Fitzi brings up the end of the first set, going to Tilley and Fitzi, our number 1 seeds here at the GJ Gardner Homes New Zealand Beach Tour in Christchurch.
And that's got to feel good for them because I know there's been some chatter, so just, you know, kind of securing their lead easily like that, that's going to be good momentum for them moving into the next one. And just kind of, it's always that volleyball pride of, yeah, I got that seed, but I earned it, I deserve it.
So right now, Stacey Niao and Alex Zeiman are sitting in their booth, having a conversation. What kind of words would you reckon they'll be passing between each other here, Ivy?
So I definitely think that they need to clean up their game to kind of be in contention for this next set. Obviously, game's not over. There's still a lot of volleyball to be played. I think we might need to see some cleaner sets right now because it's hard coming from indoor to beach. In indoor, you can kind of just face anywhere. You know exactly where the ball is going to get set. It's hard court. You can get your feet anywhere. I think there's just been a misconnection on the setting. Zeiman's making quite... she's coming in aggressively, but she's probably making a few too many errors, so just needing to keep it in, even if the set's not there. Niao maybe needs to be facing her sets. I mean, even if they're going in the right direction, it's just hard to be the player coming in to hit when your partner's facing the backcourt. You have no idea where the ball's going. I've been on that end of like, the set's perfect, the set's great, but I'm holding back because I'm not sure where the set's going to go. And we have seen a few over sets, and Fitzi and Tilley are just taking control of those. And yeah, I would just say overall cleaning up of the game.
Yeah, it's all about unforced errors, and you want to make sure you minimize those as much as possible, just to summarize what Ivy was saying there. So we're hoping to see some the setting. They're going to carry on with Zeiman, I believe, and we're going to want to see some better sets here from Stacey.
And there it was. That was the perfect set. That was exactly what we want. Zeiman, powerful swing, and just that's volleyball.
And that's the game I think that they want, is just tidy up their side and keep the ball on the other side. That's beach volleyball, right? Unfortunately, that's a service error, not what you want to have, but that's okay. It's still early here in the second set of the women's semi-final. This is the second women's semi-final at GJ Gardner Homes. And for those who are just tuning in or have been watching for a while, epic venue. We're in the middle of the CBD, food everywhere, spectators everywhere, and unreal scenes everywhere.
Yeah, and me and Zeiman were actually having a conversation last night about this. So indoor Division I volleyball at unis in America it's a different game. It's a lot of mental games that the coaches like to play. And we were just talking about how when she was at Minnesota, it was just based on stats, and like the coaches would be screaming at you 1 minute for like a shank, and then it's just like they like to play a lot of games, and that was why part of the reason why she wanted to go to FSU to play beach volleyball. It's just like the vibes are different, but I think that's probably made her a much stronger player. So we see her even now, she's handling this pressure really well. And there it is, kind of an offset, and she made the nice decision to just keep the ball in play and got a point on that.
If I was coaching Zeiman and Niao right now, I'd be asking Zeiman probably not to pass so tight. I think at the moment Stacey Niao is that she's struggling as a beach player to set those ones nice and up and down. But what do I know? I'm not out there playing a semi-final, so they can figure out their own game.
Yeah.
And I'll keep my words through the mic.
Well, and it's hard when you're a new partnership, because as a setter, I actually preferred when my partner would pass the ball tight, and then I would tell them, I'm just going to set the ball like straight up and down, get your butt to the net, and I'm going to leave it at the net, especially with a player like Zeiman. If you're going to set her 50-50, she's going to get the point every single time, especially if Fitzi's going to pull on that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Fitzi even gets in there. Yes,
Yeah,
we see the
she did.
replay. She did get there. Just kind of waddled around there. I think she needed to get on the net a little bit more aggressive there to see where the set was going first before you peel.
Yeah.
But that's just a classic indoor thing. You don't peel in indoor.
Yeah.
So, and peeling, we're talking about running off of the net instead of blocking. You take some space in the backcourt thinking the player's not going to hit. But in this situation, Alex did hit. Yeah, you always want to see where that set's going before you make the decision to get off the net. Because if that set goes tight, sure, they might pass off. They set it tight, and you're off the net. Wow, they're just going to hammer that down at you.
Yeah, I have this wonderful condition of whenever I have to block, I pull every single time because I cannot block to save my life.
How tall are you, Ivy?
6 foot.
6 foot. Hey, you should be out there blocking every time.
Yeah.
No excuses.
Yep. Cannot block to save my life. Can't really pass either.
So we've got Julia Tilley back to serve, recently engaged. Congratulations to her. We've got a lot of people here recently getting engaged. We mentioned Francesca Kerr, and also in the game beforehand, also recently engaged.
See, we set Zeiman 50-50. She's going to get the point.
Yeah,
She's
good
so
stuff.
confident at the net. So confident at the net.
Zeiman says that an interesting fact about herself, she reckons she can outbench all the lads. I'd like to see a bench off between her and Griffin Mueller.
I
That guy's
honestly,
got a big chest.
I think her chest might be bigger. Maybe, not sure. But I honestly think that she could outlift him.
We do have Koha Fitness here, actually, our local physio / gym supporters, just around the corner here, actually. It's been quite an awesome facility. You can head in there, use the bathrooms, use the gyms. In fact, I was in there yesterday and just before the quarter-final for Griffin Mueller and Tom Reed, who we'll see later on in the semi-final. They were doing a big workout. And I was just thinking, come on, guys. I have to keep my shirt on because of you.
So it was fun. It's funny you say this. One of the photographers here, and a lovely older man, when they walk out, he just goes, seriously, that is some eye candy. And it's reasons like, and he said the same thing. It's reasons like that I never take off my shirt. And I was like, I think you got about 20 years and a couple more beers on them, sweetie. But
hey, it's not too late to start hitting the gym now, Ivy. If you want, I'll commentate. Oh, no,
are we saying that I need to go to the gym?
No.
I think I'm getting fat shamed live on Sky Sport
Let's change
Next.
the topic.
Oh, and there it is, the Julia Tilley special, the cheeky over the line, not quite a high line, just over the block.
Using the hands of Stacey Niao, who put them up high to take as much space as she could. Not high enough there in that situation. We mentioned before about Julia Tilley, recently engaged. Some other fun facts about her. She was born in Gizzy Hard. So she'll know the East Coast wave. She now resides in Mount Maunganui, which is the home of beach volleyball. And that's our next stop on this 5-stop tour, New Zealand Beach Tour by Gardner Homes. We've already been to Nelson. We've
Ruakaka.
been Ruakaka. This is the 3rd stop here in Christchurch, and we have the double header in Mount Maunganui. Should be pretty awesome.
Great pass from Fitzi. And an easy chop down the line. I think we might need to see a pull from Niao on that one, just because with the set off the net, it just gives Fitzi full reign of the court. She can hit that, she can shoot it. The block is just not going to be effective when that set's that far off the net.
Yeah, and it's easy that Annalise Fitzi is actually 5'10". I can't believe that. She's actually quite a tall player. So obviously having a bit of an advantage with the more height you have at beach volleyball. The net stays the same, the sand stays consistent. The difference is how high you can jump and how tall you are.
Yeah, and we've had this conversation with some of the male refs the other night. They were asking me how tall I was, and when I said I'm 5'11", they were like, there's no way you're 5'11", I'm 5'11". And I explained a girl's 5'11" is much different than a men's 5'11". If a girl says she's 5'10" or 5'11", we actually mean where the doctor said we're that height. Whereas if a guy was told he was 5'10", it might be 6'2" when he says it out loud. So
I like to say I'm 6'4", but to be honest, I'm probably 6'3". I like to boast that I'm a little bit taller than I am.
depends on the day.
Depends on the person too, I guess.
If you've done yoga in the morning or not.
Oh, good little pokey there by Julia. Cleaning up what was a tight set there by Annalise Fitzi, just drifting on. Stacey Niao probably needs to just really grab that ball in that situation, but it is tricky with a little bit of a breeze, just slightly picking up now.
And with Tilley being a more experienced and older veteran of the beach volleyball game, she does have a power hit, but unlike the other players, she's a lot more comfortable with chopping around the block. And her favorite is that little dinker on the line, but she has a great cut shot. She just likes to move the ball around the court and keep the ball away from defender and blocker. Niao with her own little high line trinkle.
Yeah, I like Julia Tilley is shouting out there, I got that. She's a little bit cut up that she didn't get it, but she knows deep down inside that she could have chased that ball down. So we go to our 2-hour technical timeout now. Beach gear for any weather. Technical timeout is when the score equals a total of 21. It's a free timeout. Each team gets one timeout per set, but this one here is a free of charge.
2 fists apart, we would call that a double. The refs were explaining to us there is no rule that actually states that. You could technically double fist the ball with your arms not touching, and it would not be considered a double. And my mind is blown.
That is a fun fact for volleyballers. Maybe not so much for those people who don't know the sport too well, but nonetheless a fun fact. And we got the first point back after this technical timeout going to Tilley and Fitzi. They'll be wanting to keep this little 4-point lead that they've built up all the way through to the end of the second set to take it out. If you're just joining us, this is the second set of the second women's semi-final down here at the GJ Gardner Homes New Zealand Beach Tour.
Oh, beautiful set from Zeiman. That is that FSU training of just, I love to see it, the flow of the, she's perfectly squared to the net. She has that great 45-degree angle. The right foot was slightly forward, the leg closest to the net, the nice little lunge follow through, connecting with that ball. That was a beautiful bump set. That gets me excited, you guys.
Oh, and a cheap point for Julia Tilley, but I love it. She comes in looking like she's going to set it, and she just does a little cut dig. It rolls just over the tape. That's a hard one to read about where that ball is going to go. And that just comes from her experience, nearly 15 years of beach volleyball. She has also been on this tour for a long time. Probably not necessarily having played beach volleyball down here, because it's only the return of the Pro Tour down here in Christchurch. But nonetheless, she's got a lot of experience, and that's where those sort of shots come from.
Yeah, and I actually met Julia Tilley, I think about 4 years ago in a beach volleyball tournament in Hawaii when she was playing with Alice Bain. I was playing with my UCLA beach volleyball partner, Lily Justine, and we had Julia Tilley and Alice Bain, and all of the girls on the beach were obsessed with them. They were these little Kiwi, they looked identical, they were businesslike. All they did was chop around our block. They just hit the line every time. They both had washboard abs. It was just like, what more could you ask for?
And there's a double fault there. 2 touches by Annalise Fitzi. It's a tricky one. Handstand, we mentioned about it earlier. It has to come out crispy clean. It can have a bit of rotation because it's all about the hands, but usually rotation can sometimes show us that there may have been 2 touches in there.
Zeiman with an ace service, way to use that equipment. So that, I know if you've ever played tennis or if you're used to the old school rules of a let serve, not counting, they've changed that. It's been years, so the ball is able to hit the net, and it's almost always an ace service when that happens.
Alice Zeiman, her occupation similar to Olivia McDonald. She is a full-time beach bum.
I believe I also had that on my my profile last year, was professional beach bum.
I was going to say, you put that on your CV?
I did. I have it on my LinkedIn profile, you guys. Professional beach bum. I just show up and I chat, and yeah,
and that's how
I
you
love
got
it.
this job, is it, Ivy? How nice.
I talk too much, apparently. I really do love the way that Zeiman plays, and I think it's just, again, those constant repetitions from uni, 20 hours a week. The way she just takes care of the ball, everything is very mechanical, everything is very structured.
So we've got Annalise Fitzi up here to serve. For those that around the world and those watching at home.
Great dig by Tilley, laying it out, getting up, and is she going to? She puts the ball deep middle.
And a great over shot there actually by Zeiman. Good vision there to find that back corner. And Annalise Fitzi unable to get that. Born and raised from Walton, out in the Matamata Piako district. But I don't know where Walton is. It's pretty much in the middle of nowhere. Sorry if you're from Walton watching at home. I'll probably hear that from your folks later on. She's a deer farmer. Strong shoulders.
I think all these girls have strong shoulders.
Yeah.
And there we go, Fitzi beating the defender. So Zeiman did a great job of reading Tilley's middle ball, and it looks like she may have, was expecting Fitzi to go middle as well, but Fitzi just cranked that past her hard angle. Defense is a tough skill. Sometimes you want to move while they're hitting. Gotta get stopped.
Going on 2. Finds a spot. Alice Zeiman. How good. And we're wanting to see this little momentum swing here. It is late in the second set, and the Zeiman and Niao really need to step up the game here if they're wanting to keep this game alive.
High pressure serve, sticking on Fitzi. Oh,
Dig.
great
Gotta
dig.
recycle this. Oh, and we've got it back in. Fitzi going on 2, and she finds a space. Good move.
Great decisions by both attackers there.
And leaves Fitzi back to serve again. Some other fun facts about her. She did have an indoor scholarship over at St. Leo University over in the States. A lot of girls getting the scholarships for indoor beach over there. Who is she inspired by most? Shauna Polly, who's not here at the moment. How good is that? How good is it to have a role model that's about the same age as you?
Honestly, I think Shauna Polly is a role model to everyone. She is the stud of New Zealand beach volleyball.
I heard that Trent Webby guy was a bit of a stud too.
I think he's just like lucky that he's like somehow intertangled into that. He's good by association.
Here's a fun one here. Annalise Fitzi's biggest fan, Mike Watson. Yeah, we'll see. Actually, no, we won't see him later on today. Sorry, Mike. Didn't make it through the quarterfinal yesterday.
I heard they just didn't want it.
It was a big 3-setter. We'll talk a bit about that later on. We've got to get back to this game. It's getting pretty tight down here in the end of the second set. Float serve down onto Annalise Fitzi. Good dig. Stacey's got to get touched. Unable to do so.
Again, I think that we need to figure out some sort of ranking on how powerful these hits are, whether there's a bounce on the sand or just a kill. We'll figure something out by the end of this tour.
3 match points. Julia Tilley to serve. Cleaned up there by Zeiman. Opportunity though here.
Pick up from Tilley and
another great dig.
Keeping the rallies alive.
Tilley goes on 2.
And she's able to convert, and they are the winners of this second semifinal match, and they will be facing Olivia McDonald and Francesca Kerwin in the finals.
And that final is due to play off at 2 p.m. today, so make sure you stay tuned and fill in for that. There's going to be a big humdinger, I'm sure of it, with the 4 girls out there for that competition. We'll join them courtside very shortly, Julia Tilley and Annalise Fitzi for a little court interview. But this has been lovely, beautiful weather down here at Christchurch, putting on a great day for us. We're your commentators, Trent Webby.
And Ivy Schmidt. Thank you guys so much for listening.
We'll see you shortly for the first men's semi-final here at the GJ Gardner Homes New Zealand Beach Tour.
Cheers, you guys.
Such a stunning effort by you two. You have officially made it into the finals at 2:15 here. How was that for you, Julia?
Yeah, it was good. We knew it was going to be a really tough game, both incredible athletes, but Fitzi here, played out of her skin, being new to the beach scene, so I'm really proud of her, like my own child.
And Annalise, you've teamed up with a very experienced Julia Tilley, and your combination seems to be working well.
Yeah, it is. Just Proud of her, proud of us. I don't know what to say. Yeah, it's a good time with Julia, yeah.
And hey, you have every right to be proud. That was honestly amazing. Now, Julia and also Annalise, it's your first time here playing in Christchurch. How's it been for you over the weekend?
Yeah, I think it's phenomenal what they've done to bring the sand here. Like for us, all the players here, we just feel really like stoked that we're able to bring this to Christchurch, and it's exciting to play out there.
Well, we have definitely loved having you here, and awesome congratulations on your win, and we can't wait to see you guys in the final. Dean, what a stunning day it's been.
Yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful day, a beautiful setting here in Cathedral Square, and the women's final, these two, Julia Tilley and Annalise Fitzi, up against Francesca Kerwin and Olivia McDonald. That will be a classic women's final.
That's right, and like we were saying before, don't go anywhere, guys. We have another game at 12 o'clock, so we will see you soon.